Hello and welcome to another revised video during the ongoing development of the DayZ standalone. My name is Marino, I am the head of the medical branch of the Trusted Medics of the Wasteland, and in this video I would like to talk specifically about natural blood and health regeneration. Regeneration was originally split across my first two videos on eating and drinking and blood and health respectively. Several things have changed by now, and since this is also a pretty important topic on its own, I decided to make a separate new video about regeneration only. There were several changes surrounding it, so the release of the stable version 0.34.115106 was a good time to work on an update. But there are very likely going to be more changes about the things that I talk about as the development of DayZ continues, so I will annotate them in this video whenever possible. Please make sure you look at the annotations as well. Also, in case you're only interested in individual aspects of regeneration, I put jump markers in the description of the video for you, so you may skip forward. I am of course going to explain how things work in general, for those who don't know anything about regeneration yet and want to change this. For those who know my previous videos, since then the requirements for the different types of regeneration have changed, along with the rebalancing of the stomach, water and energy bars. We have also seen the introduction of indicators for high energy and high hydration recently. It is now a lot easier to give you some orientation when regeneration sets in and much less guesstimates are required. I talk about those changes and the current state of eating and drinking in another video, so if you want to know more, feel free to click the annotated link to open it in a new tab. I also have a much better understanding of the game mechanics in general by now and can give you more behind the curtain information than I could back in December. Furthermore, while several issues with the status indicators have been fixed by now, not all of them are working perfectly and may still cause confusion. Of course, I reported them in the feedback tracker already, so I hope they are going to be fixed at some point as well, but for now, I'll explain what you need to be aware of. Most of the information in this video comes from my experiments and observations, and everything I say is of course to the best of my current knowledge. Enough with the foreword, let's talk regeneration. It's pretty much inevitable that you will get injured at some point while playing DayZ. If you want to survive, you will need to recover lost blood and health by being sufficiently well fed and hydrated. But how much is sufficient? There are different kinds of regenerations with different requirements. Let's take a look at how they work. The first regeneration mode you may experience is slow blood regeneration. It is really easy to attain nowadays. It only takes 2000 energy and 1500 water to enable it. Once you meet those criteria, blood will return very slowly at a rate of 1 blood per second, and color will gradually come back to your screen. The requirements used to be nearly twice as high, but by now, even if you aren't exactly superbly nourished, it is a lot easier to at least recover from minor blood loss over an extended period of time, so you won't run around in grayscale forever. So how do you know that you are in this rather subtle regeneration mode? Here's a thing that I hadn't fully understood and didn't quite get right in my original video. Blood regeneration does not cause a healing or healthy status on its own. This behavior was, and still is, obscured by one of the glitches that I'll explain in the end. So chances are, even if you have been in slow regeneration a few builds ago, you probably didn't even realize it. But now, in addition to the indicators that warn us about low water and energy levels, we also have indicators for high water and energy levels that we can use as orientation. 2000 energy and 1500 water are what you need for slow blood regeneration. And as it happens, 2000 energy is precisely the threshold for the darker green energized status to appear. So as long as that is there, you know that you have sufficient energy in your body to allow for blood regeneration to function. And what about water? Below 1500 water, you are considered to be thirsty. We need to be above 1500 water. So as long as you at least don't have a thirsty indicator, you have enough water to allow for blood regeneration. No green hydrated indicator is necessary, just not being thirsty is enough. So the simple rule of thumb is, any energized status plus not being thirsty equals at least slow blood regeneration, even though it does not have a distinct indicator of its own. Remember that your maximum blood is 5000, and regenerating 1000 blood at slow regeneration takes a little longer than 15 minutes. Second regeneration mode, full blood regeneration. It obviously requires higher energy and water levels than slow blood regeneration, but they have been reduced slightly as well. It now requires 4000 energy and 2500 water. Full blood regeneration allows you to regenerate at 3 blood per second, which is very noticeable when you experience it. Regenerating 1000 blood at this rate only takes about 5 minutes, so color returns to your screen rapidly. But just like slow blood regeneration, it also does not cause a status effect. Not healthy, not healing. But again, we can rely on our new hunger and thirst, or rather energized and hydrated indicators. 4000 energy is the threshold at which your dark green energized status turns bright green. And at 2500 water, you jump from the neutral range without an indicator to the dark green hydrated range. So your rule of thumb here is bright energized plus any hydrated equals full blood regeneration. Well, so far we have only talked about blood regeneration. What about health regeneration? It is arguably more important since you actually die from health loss, while you only drop unconscious from blood loss. And it also cannot be restored artificially like blood can with saline or blood bag IVs. But since nothing worth having comes for free, health regeneration has the most requirements of the regeneration modes. It is only active when you meet the criteria for full blood regeneration of 4000 energy and 2500 water, and when your blood is already full. In other words, you have to go through full blood regeneration first. Once all those 3 criteria are met, you will slowly start to regenerate health at a rate of 1 per second. I told you before that blood regeneration does not cause a status effect. But you may have guessed it, health regeneration does. While your health is regenerating, you gain the healing status. And once your health is back to its maximum of 5000, healing switches to healthy. Note that while having full blood is a requirement, healthy and healing do not say anything about your blood level. If your health is full, you are healthy. If your health is not full, you are healing. Your blood level may be full or close to 0 in the meantime. It has no impact on the status display. Like blood and slow regeneration, it takes about 15 minutes to regain 1000 lost health, during which the blurriness that is caused by health loss gradually fades. If you want to know more about blood and health, their characteristics and effects, and how to estimate your current blood and health levels, see my video dedicated to blood and health, in which I talk extensively about those 2 main values that decide who will live and who is going to respawn soon. I mentioned some problems about those indicators that I hope are going to be fixed soon, but for now they are still around. One of those glitches causes the healthy status not to appear even though it should. This happens typically when your blood and health are already full. You technically fulfill the criteria for being healthy, but it seems that the trigger that causes the status to show up does not fire if there is nothing to regenerate in the first place. Once you took a little bit of damage and regenerate from it, it will update and show up. This was a much bigger problem in earlier builds when we didn't have the energized and hydrated status yet, since we were pretty much in the dark about our energy and water levels and couldn't tell if we needed to eat more or if the status is just glitched. But now we have the indicators, so my recommendation would be once more, look for those rather than the healthy status. As long as you have a bright energized and any hydrated status, you are regenerating, even if you don't have a healthy status. The second problem is just as irritating, but far more dangerous, as it may lead to a false sense of safety. The healthy status sometimes does not disappear as well. This happens when you don't fulfill the energy and water requirements anymore. The healthy status happily sits there, completely unimpressed. We're supposedly healthy and thirsty and even hungry at the same time, which is a contradiction in and of itself. And again, some event like taking damage is required to cause the healthy status to update and disappear. This was a much bigger problem in previous builds when we couldn't really tell if the healthy status means that regeneration is in fact working, or if it just wasn't removed properly. Multiple status effects used to have that problem, such as the never disappearing sick status after vomiting, that would only clear if another condition caused it to update. All other such cases that I was aware of have been fixed by now, and I'm sure the healthy status is going to work properly at some point as well. Let's do a quick summary. Blood regeneration does not cause a status effect at all, while health regeneration does cause the healthy and healing statuses. Those were all we had for a long time now, but they aren't terribly reliable. Yet. While healthy and healing can tell you if your health is full or not, there are problems with those statuses when it comes to actual regeneration. The new hydrated and energized indicators, on the other hand, turn out to be very reliable during experimentation though, and I recommend focusing on those instead. There are only 2 rules that you'll want to remember. Slow blood regeneration is always active as long as you have any energized status and at least no thirsty indicator. If on top of that you are fed and hydrated enough to reach the bright energized status and at least the dark hydrated status, you are in full blood regeneration. And once your blood level is full, also health regeneration. Keep an eye on those new indicators. Remember that you'll ideally want bright green energized and at least dark green hydrated, and you're on the safe side. This is especially important when it comes to sicknesses. The sick status overrides the healthy status in your inventory screen, but that does not mean that you aren't regenerating. As long as you maintain your energy and hydration levels, you are regenerating while being sick. And doing so is absolutely critical in surviving the more severe sicknesses that would otherwise kill you. Slow regeneration is much easier to attain now than it was in previous builds, and full regeneration is a bit easier to acquire than before. However, there were also balancing changes regarding your water and energy levels and your stomach capacity. If you would like to learn more about those changes and how to get the new status effects, I recommend taking a look at my new revised video dedicated to eating and drinking. And of course, there's a video about sicknesses that explains why regeneration is so important and can easily make the difference between surviving and respawning. And there's also a time-lapse video of almost full blood and health loss and their full recovery. That is all I have to say about natural regeneration for now. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, please remember to like and share it with your friends. They might learn something new as well. Also take a look at my channel and subscribe for further experiments and explanations during the development of DayZ. And if, despite your now hopefully better understanding of regeneration, you find yourself in a medical emergency, please visit the Trusted Medics of the Wasteland at tmwdayz.com or come straight to our TeamSpeak server at ts.tmwdayz.com to request assistance. I'm also usually on it when I'm working on something, so feel free to drop by if you have further questions. Once more, my name has been Marino, and stay healthy, my friends.